3, 2, 1, hack. In a fighter squadron, our briefings start on time. I join you today to share some ideas that I've used as a fighter pilot, that I've used as a business leader, for how we get a team aligned and flying in formation, and see if we can apply some of those ideas as you continue to build on this great partnership you have between your team. As a fighter pilot and an entrepreneur, I'm particularly passionate about this concept of peak performance. How is it that fighter pilots achieve peak performance in a rapidly changing, complex environment flying jets? And how could business people use the same tools and techniques? Could I get a show of hands? Does anyone remember where you were the morning of September 11th, 2001? And my first reaction was probably the same as many people in this room. I said, my gosh, how can I help? I immediately called the squadron commander of the 134th Fighter Squadron. I said, good morning, sir, Major Anthony Bourke, F-16 pilot, 144th Fighter Wing, California Air National Guard. Sir, I'm stuck here in Burlington, just saw what happened on the TV, was wondering if I could help. Long silence on the other end of the line. He said, I've just been tasked to fly Homeland Defense 24/7 over New York City. I need 12 pilots to do the mission. I've only got 11 here right now. Get over here as quick as you can. I can't do the mission without you. This is the exact variant of F-16s we flew 3,000 miles away in California. Just a few hours later, I found myself taking off in a jet that I'd never flown, flying in airspace that I'd never flown in, flying with a wingman who I'd never met. And yet, I felt like I was flying that mission for the 100th time. That's the power of the training and the standardization we've developed, that you can plug and play people anywhere in the world under the most challenging circumstances and get them up to speed and execute at a high level like that. And I think that's the partnership that we're trying to build here between our suppliers and the global supply chain team. Fighter pilots and effective businesses have developed some cadence in their business, in the way they operate, to ensure that they drive the results they're looking for. For fighter pilots, that's based on a system of always briefing before key missions to ensure we're all working together and flying in formation, and always debriefing right afterwards, because we know no fighter pilot's ever flown the perfect mission. And I think it's fair to say that no one in business will ever have the perfect day, the perfect week, the perfect month, or the perfect meeting. Fighter pilots always call time out right afterwards and hold a debrief. Briefing says you may be the best and the brightest fighter pilot in the world. You could have the greatest ideas or tactics in your head. But if you haven't found a way to communicate your great ideas, your great plans to the people who are going to be flying with you, then all of your ideas will be for naught, because you'll be flying solo, and so will your wingman. And that's why when fighter pilots get ready to fly any kind of mission, whether it's a 1-hour training mission or a 6-hour combat mission, even though we've been preparing for hours for our missions, fighter pilots always sit down and hold a briefing to ensure that when we walk out the door, jump in our cockpits, put on our helmets, and start engines, that we are going to be aligned, that we're going to be flying in formation, that we're going to execute at the mission at the highest possible level. And I think in both of our worlds that the mission's going to be safe. Debrief essentially says, I really don't care how good we think we are. I don't care how well we planned. I don't care how good our technology is. And quite honestly, I don't care how well yesterday's mission went. The fact is, at the end of the day, at the end of the mission, no fighter pilot has ever flown the perfect mission. And that's why when fighter pilots are done executing our missions, we always hold a debrief. So we can learn from both the mistakes and the victories of today's mission, and we can continue to improve as individuals, certainly as a broader team, and maybe most importantly, so our leaders can find a way to call time out from time to time and get our people to give us the honest, real-time feedback we need to keep us ahead of the threats, ahead of the competition, and ahead of the inevitable change that is going to continue to come our way. Mach 2 is all about figuring out how do fighter pilots achieve results in a rapidly changing, complex environment flying jets, and how can business people use the same tools. I've had the pleasure over the past 15 years in this business working with top sales teams, top sales individuals, manufacturing firms, accounting firms, anybody who's all about getting better results, communicating at a better level, working better as a team, and individually winning. When you go back to work next week, please don't think about this concept of debrief as something that could only work in a fighter squadron. Think about how you can either introduce, or my guess is much more likely, raise the bar on the way we are giving and receiving feedbacks with our partners. Debrief is the most powerful tool in the world to help accelerate the experience of a team, and I think it's the most powerful tool in the world to help you on this journey and working as a team.